In the construction and research section, I was given the task of researching trailers, along with Tom. I researched 5 trailers: The Sixth Sense, Signs, The Stepford Wives, The Village, amongst others. And I used these on YouTube, finding the conventions. I also researched the websites. The websites of... I researched whysoserious.com, stateofplaymovie.com, ladyinthewater.warnerbro.com, and cloverfieldmovie.com. 4 websites of movies that were similar to ours, and I researched them on their domain names to identify conventions that I found amongst all of them. I also used Photoshop for a lot of the images on the website. The advertisements in particular used a lot of Photoshop. We took photos on a digital camera and put them into the computer, photoshopping the backgrounds and the words, and generally trying to alter the lighting to make them all appear as somber and dark, as we wanted the obvious film within the website to look. We also used the Photoshop for the poster. Now, I know Tom and I both shared duties for the poster. It was generally he would Photoshop and he would onto the other, and I would touch around the lighting, etc., trying to make it all seem as if one image, one lighting stream. We used Serif Movie Plus to create the trailer. It was a program we were already used to from last year. We also used it to create the small news footage for the website. Again, I found this program easy to use. I edited the bit of footage shot exclusively for the website, the JNN news update. I edited that myself, and I found that rather easy to use, and we made that clip very, very quickly. The trailer itself, however, the serif we used, while it was a great tool, it also provided a few complications. There were certain effects that we were aiming for that serif simply did not have, and we found that rather limiting. I creatively found that rather limiting because I would have to change parts of the trailers to sort of suit the technology that we had on display. And I believe that if to make my work better, a greater software than Serif Movie Plus would be necessary, because there were certain effects that I could not achieve. We also used YouTube for feedback. We put our trailer on YouTube. We also put the news video on YouTube to get a bit of feedback, and comments have mostly been positive. We regularly get anywhere between 3 to 5 star ratings, which I think is a very good sign that people enjoy the work, and they find it easy to slip away and enjoy the work. We also use SiteGround.com to put the website up with FTPs, and I found that very challenging personally. I let Tom do a lot of that because I couldn't quite get my head around it. But the minute both he and I were on the same level, I feel we did get the website up and use SiteGround effectively. We also used the new influx, the new technology of social networking sites. Now, Tom created a Facebook group later last year to sort of capitalise on the uprush. The only problem is, while production changed, the Facebook group did not, and that is the one thing I sort of regret about this entire campaign, is that Facebook group is not up to date, but it's still there, and I think it's at least good to be there, because it at least shows how the Judicia name can sort of branch out into different medias and different parts of the internet, and it just gets the name out there on the internet more. More people are likely to see the word Judicia, and are more likely then to go on to the other combination of ancillary texts and media products. I also used the social networking site Flickr to research the posters. Now, whilst Tom's main aim was to research the posters, I felt merely as part of the team that I should look over the posters and get a general gist for what we were going for, and I feel that helped because the poster we created was from an original idea that I had from viewing these posters, so I felt that was very helpful. I am also using a microphone and Windows sound recorder for this very evaluation. I feel it is quite an easy technology to use, but the results are a bit bit pixelated at best, but with the lack of technology we have, I mean, by the time you hear this, we've had to give the cameras to another group, so I'm unable to film this, but this is a more than suitable replacement for the camera technology. Starting off with the poster. Now the poster, we tried to keep everything using the conventions. We tried to be very safe. The poster, we used a lot of the same conventions as we saw in the other posters. For example, it showed the main character with an empty or solemn look on her face to provide the viewer with a sense that all is not as it seems. Now, in a lot of the posters we researched, a lot of the character and a lot of the feel of the movie is expressed through the character's expression. And we feel that by having a solemn mood, it's with a hint, just the littlest hint of feeling that something isn't right, that would give the impression that while Judicia may be perfect, people may have heard that it's perfect, this one character that you're supposed to emotionally attach yourself to, this one character senses there's not something alright, and that would draw people in, because they would also want to see what is not right with this town of Judicia. We used the colour red a lot, because that was used in similar posters, and we also used similar shades for all coloured areas. You may notice in the windows of the poster there are some warm, earthy yellows and browns, and that wasn't an accident. We put that in to show, first off, the warmness of Judicia, figuratively, but also it could demonstrate some sort of hell aspect, as in this house of Judicia symbolises hell, and that could also show the evil hidden beneath in Judicia that we wanted to create, which was also contrasted against the white of our main character, the goodness. And that contrast between the characters and surroundings is also something we picked up on in the poster research. Tom created a catchy tagline for the poster, as noted from our viewers who sort of, when they watched the trailer, this is before we created the poster, when they would watch the trailer, they would get a sense of the film and then say lines, and the one that really stuck to us was the tagline, "You would kill to live here," because that sort of summed up the movie and Judicia's values itself. The values being that that people who live there would have to kill or commit some sort of sin to live amongst these people, and we like that. We also felt that having a catchy tagline would fit in with the conventions from other posters, such as the Urban Legend poster and the Bone Collector poster. A catchy tagline to catch people, but also to stick in the mind, something that you just can't forget. And then that also draws in with the title that they couldn't forget, that title being Judicia. Now, my original idea for the poster was a lot different to how it turned out. I wanted the poster to be a lot more complicated, a lot more complex, but limitations with lighting and actors made me rechange that. Now, when I was drawing up the idea for a new poster, I liked the idea, as I saw in the other posters, of having the main characters be a prominent feature. So we put Robin Ford directly in the middle. Now, while I was drawing her in the middle for the rough sketch, for the idea, I also had the idea of putting her in front of the House of Judicia, a representative of Judicia, that being the house, and having people in the windows perhaps, but something that wouldn't draw direct attention, but when you looked up and close at the poster you would see that the silhouettes are dangerous people with weapons. And I like that idea personally, because I always like the idea of someone seeing a poster but then getting up and close and seeing it's something else. And that, I think that's what Judicia represents, something not being what it seems up front. We also included an official font for the credits, and we tried to maintain the same font for the actors and the name, as in akin to other posters. We also included production details, including our new company logo, which I designed. I figured a new year, a new start, a new better logo, and I quite liked the way it turned out. It was just a little something I knocked up. And we also included the Find Us on Facebook logo, which also draws attention to the other places that Judicia has spread its name and value.